Yo, what's up, everybody? Episode 20 of the Bronx Beat, a Yankee podcast. So, Yankees took on the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend and took the series, the four-game set. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter! And if you've noticed, I'm wearing my festive purple T-shirt, as I call it. Angie, as you just saw, Emma's going up to bed, but Angie, my middle one, loves the purple shirt, and I know it's kind of remind you of the Rays colors on that throwback. But Angie loves the purple shirt, so as you know, figured be festive. With purple being a Lenten Easter color. Wearing the purple shirt, I like it. It's very comfortable and makes the kids happy. That's what it's all about. And Easter Sunday with a lot of Easter eggs, with this series. But let's talk about it. I mean, Max Fried was magnificent today. He had the no hitter till it wasn't. But let's be real, Chandler Simpson would have beat it out at first. But Yankees beat the Tampa Bay Rays today 4-0. Max Fried picks up his fourth win. In all five of his starts, the Yankees won. That first one, he just didn't have. He didn't make it through the fifth. Um, in that first start early in the season. But this weekend, pitching. I mean, we know Devin Williams had his little blip yesterday, but then if you see my video, I'm sticking to that hot take too. I am. I'm sticking to that hot take. I think it's going to be. We always talk about the snowball effect here, and I liked what I saw from Devin on Friday. That 1-2-3 inning, and that was back to back. Outings for him with 1-2-3 fashion. But I know yesterday was bad, but giving up runs like that, and it's just not sustainable. But let's. I think he is gonna turn it around. Um, as I said, no earned runs until late May, early June. I'm sticking to that too. So let's jump into the injury news and notes here. There is a few notes that from throughout the week. DJ LeMayu is progressing and could begin a rehab assignment as early as Tuesday with Double A Somerset. So there's that right-handed bat compliment that we've been asking for, kind of wondering they're going to give DJ his last shot. So they're going to give him a shot to see how much he has left. So DJ set to begin a double A rehab assignment as early as Tuesday. Marcus Stroman has taken well to that cortisone shot in his knee and has started playing catch per skipper Aaron Boone. Jazz Chisholm was suspended for tweeting from the locker room after being thrown out. He appealed it, and we've seen him. We've seen him in the lineup all throughout the series. So with that appeal, nothing really came out of it. And Jonathan Loizaga threw a BP across the street from George M. Steinbrenner Field at the minor league complex, and he's set to make one more bullpen session before going on a rehab assignment. So we're still looking for that late May. I'm sure they're sticking to the late May timeline for Jonathan Loizaga, but just to jump into the games and the little fun fact I had here on the 17th, which was Thursday, Sunday, yeah, Thursday. Um, yeah, 17th was on Thursday. We have the little note I put in on here was on April 17th, 1976, Thurman Munson was named the first captain since Lou Gehrig, which was from 1935 to 1939. That was a little bit of a fun fact I saw on the Yes broadcast. So I just wanted to write that down and share it with you guys. Thurman Munson, very, very important former player and figure in Yankee lore, especially from Yankee history, especially from what I've grown up hearing about Thurman Munson. So I just wanted to share that, and I figured it was a little bit kind of fitting because they're going to be taking on the Cleveland Guardians in Cleveland, Ohio, and Ohio is where Thurman was from. I mean, and the boss George M. Steinbrenner. But I just wanted to share that little Yankee tidbit. But Thursday night, Will Warren. It was pretty bad start from Willie. Didn't last to the second inning, and we're thinking here. I mean, I'm thinking most of us are all thinking when watching the game. This long road trip, 13 game, and we're at the back end of it now. The 13-game road trip, and oh my goodness, um, we're looking at we're at game 8 here now, and then it's like, oh no, the bullpen's going to be taxed, and you know they kind of I think, I mean, Ryan Yarbrough came in. He had the little blurb with Caminero, the home run. He gave up, but two-thirds innings for Yarbrough. He did the job. The bullpen did the job. Tim Hill, magnificent. Excuse me, guys. Tim Hill is magnificent this series. Ian Hamilton even better in 3 2/3, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Um, Devin Williams, he was good in one appearance, the 1 2 3, but even he said come in with a four run cushion. You just got to be better. And you know what? I think he is gonna come out and be a lot better. In the past, in his history, he does tend to struggle a little bit out of the start. April's almost done, and you know what? I think Devin is going to snap out of this. Mark Leiter Jr. has been good. Fernando Cruz, Mark Leiter Jr. has been great. Fernando Cruz picking up his two first career saves this road trip. Just the bullpen, all in all, minus the Devin Williams struggles, I think they've been very, very good. And it's just a matter of let's see how long it is sustainable here. So, and hopefully longer than it's not, to be completely honest. But Will Warren, don't want to give him don't want to say it's a pass. The Yankees still won the ball game 6-3, but it was just one of those games. You wish you just could have had a little bit more length, but it still worked out for the Yankees. And with Tampa Bay, 19 of their first 22 games have been at home. 37 of the first 54 of those games, of their games this season are going to be at home. They planned this with the scheduling. Because it rains a lot in Florida, every day pretty much, and the heat and humidity, which it's been working out for the Rays. I mean, after this series alone, they passed Yankee Stadium for the stadium this season that has given up the most homers. And speaking of homers, I can't believe today with Aaron Judge. It's just the more you look at it, then you see the slow mo and the still shot and a lot. There's one with a circle on there. We saw my buddy Matt Yankees on deck shared it. Just unbelievable how with the technology that they have nowadays. I mean, with the review, I mean, you review it and then not. It's just I really hope this home run's not one of those where if it comes down to history, it could be the one that you want back. But it was just mind-boggling. And Aaron Boone had his 40th career ejection over it, and like we said in the video earlier, he usually tends to have a short fuse, but today was definitely warranted. It was just terrible. I mean, I can't believe it was so, you could see it was so blatantly fair, and they didn't overturn it. Would have gave the Yankees, 5 run cushion, but just just terrible, terrible. Just I just can't believe it. It was just like Booney said, the audacity to keep the call the way it is. It's just crazy, really, really crazy. The umpiring all series was somewhat questionable, but Freed Max had the no hitter going, and he was just masterful. Um, he didn't have the strikeouts, like he did in that 11 strikeout game in Detroit, but really dealing and in control of the ball game, and just showing the type of ace that he is. I mean, the throwing errors. There was some dazzling plays today. Paul Goldschmidt continuing to show his ability and defensive prowess at first. Now he makes his mistakes. Everyone's human, but majority of the time he saved a lot of errors. And Volpe made some sparklers. Jazz had the great play today, and before I started recording, I was just going through the final touches of my notes, and before we were getting Emma ready for bed, and with my wife, I was just looking. I said, this with as hot as Trent Grisham has been on a absolute tear, and we saw him. We'll get into him, batting leadoff today, but I want to talk about Jazz. And this weekend, you see Jazz make that amazing, play over his shoulder, diving. He was, towards the second. He was set up towards the second, second base. He was set up towards second base, close towards the base, and the little blooper that at that point he kept the no hitter intact. You can see Trent Grisham wasn't going to be able to get it. Volpe wasn't really in position to get it because where they were positioned, the defensive alignment, and Jazz just running back and dive over the shoulder and made the play. It was an unbelievable catch. He made a few nice sparkling plays this series, and just the bat. I mean, he only had the one RBI, and the first game you saw 0 for 3. He was thrown out, and then 0 for 4, 1 for 4, and then another 0 for 4 today. It's just really hope Jazz with he's striking out at pretty alarming rate. It's just but his fielding is not really taking a toll, but it's starting to get very concerning about Jazz with the lack of offensive production. I know if you look at the sabermetrics and the analytics, it does tell you that maybe he's getting a little unlucky here and there. But it's getting to the point now where seeing those offers in the box score a little too much. You get used to it. Something you really don't want to get used to, and just really hope Jazz can really start to kind of bust out a little bit here, and it's been the strikeouts. I want to just see some better at bats from Jazz, but with time they'll come. This struggles now won't sustain the whole year, but let's hope that they change sooner rather than later. And few little things I thought was cool and interesting too, which I didn't mention on the first game when Will Warren pitched. Him and Jake Mangum were 2015 Mississippi State champs. They were on the same team together, which I thought was Mangum's 4 years older, so he was a senior, and Will was an underclassman, but they still played together, which I thought was pretty cool, and nice little thing for them to go off and face one another. And just to finish up, with the games here now, Carlos Rodon on Friday night was absolutely dealing. Now Austin Wellesley was out of the lineup that game. He was the latest victim with the food poisoning, and we saw him. He homered today. Wells was back in action, but he was out of the lineup for 2 days. Pitching and defense was definitely the theme of the night on Friday. Volpe had 2 sparklers, Goldie, two hard hit balls. Volpe made the play. Goldschmidt with the scoops over there. Um, it was just one of those games. It was Rodon with the shutout. It was I wanted to have, let's see. I don't remember the exact. It was six. I want to say six shutout innings for Carlos. Yep, six shutout innings, two hits, nine strikeouts, and the four walks. But somehow he was at 102 pitches, 58 strikes. That the untimely walks weren't an issue for Rodon. Carlos was absolutely dealing on Friday, and the Trent Grisham broken bat was pretty much in the second. The two strike broken bat single was all the Yankees needed. It was another night. Friday night was another night for the bullpen. Um, they were really, I mean, really, really good. As they've been. And Devin Williams had the 1-2-3 inning. And on Saturday, Carlos Cookie Carrasco, the fourth inning bugaboos got to him. Yankees did wind up losing in extras, and it's funny. Because this game, the third game of this series, Tampa wound up winning 10-8 in extras with the Jonathan Aranda walk-off home run. Devin Williams had the 4-run lead in the ninth and blew that. And it was just an ugly, ugly ninth inning yesterday. Oswaldo had the error yesterday. He had two errors today, which two throwing errors, and then the error yesterday, which kind of started this whole thing. Yesterday it was the Caballero where maybe he could have ate it, maybe not. Besides the point, threw it into the screen, and then 5-pitch walk to the 9-hitter Rort Vet. The rookie Chandler Simpson had the ground rule double, and then Yandy beat out the ground ball to shortstop, and then Brandon Lau had like almost like a bleeder into center field. All pretty much, which I hate to say it because it sounds like an excuse, because I definitely don't want to give Devin Williams an excuse, but they were it was like soft contact, it was not like he was getting wrapped around. I mean, he shouldn't be giving up 4 runs like that. Definitely not. For the second time now in 20 games, in his first 20 games with the Yanks. But it is a little bit concerning, with Luke Weaver. We've been saying how really the bullpen's been great, and another conversation like I was having with my wife. She loves, we love Luke Weaver. Luke's one of her favorite players, and how in 11 innings this year he has not given up any earned runs. And in the past, Devin Williams has set up, and he was very successful as a setup man. But to echo what Aaron Judge said, with after the game with with Devin blowing the 4-run lead, they basically Judge said, the Yankees traded for him, and they brought him here for a reason. He's not only, one of the best relievers, or he was arguably the best reliever coming into the season. And, just, you guys, girls, everybody, look at the Cleveland Indians. Emmanuel Clase is another one, fine, not only relief pitcher, closer. And he had his struggles in the postseason, just like, Devin Williams gave up that home run to Pete Alonso. The damage that the Yankees had off Clase. And he's also struggling, early this year too. His ERA's in the 7s. He has two blown saves. And, Devin's weren't saves. They were just 4-run leads, which is, I know close is a quirky. Like I said, I don't want to not making excuses for him. Devin Williams, he ought to be better. He definitely got to be better, because it's just a bad look with, the shaving policy thing. And he was one of the advocates, but just trying to, try to put those narratives to bed. Really, just try to. I mean, not only for myself, just for everybody. Um, but I did see on X one really funny thing was, until I want to say it was from Yankees Empire, but until Devin's ERA is under 350, they under 3.50, they should make him shave. But that's not the case. But it is kind of funny. But long story short, Devin Williams got to be better, and I'm sticking to my hot take of you know this last blip being the last of it. So let's just get into today's game. That's fresh in everyone's minds, and the home run that wasn't. I laughed because I couldn't believe what I was watching, but I guess it was very different that the Yanks were up at that point. Just I couldn't believe, one, the shot that Judge hit, and two, after the review, the blatancy of not changing the call. It was freaking nuts. I mean, really, it was freaking. And Trent Grisham, back to back games at home, is starting off the game with the bomb, and it was blasted, blasted. And I found it very interesting. The stat they talked about before the game. So he never batted higher than sixth in the Yankee lineup, and 154 times in his career, he 154 times in his career, he batted leadoff. And just amazing how first time batting leadoff as a Yankee. Today, boom, just as hot as he's been, he homered yesterday. It's just been, and in the field, making plays in the field. And you've heard us here say, and even Skip Around Boone say that Grisham didn't play enough, and that they're really, really trying to get him in the lineup more. And you know what? Right now, it's April 20th. It's been working. It's been working. Get Grisham into the lineup more. And speaking of April 20th, on the third consecutive April 20th, Cody Bellinger is homered again. Um, you've seen the memes out there, and unbelievable. Just it's amazing how baseball, the funny game of baseball, how it works. That on this date, 3 years in a row, Cody Bellinger is homered. Unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. Um, it's just I'm looking here, scanning that 1 2/3 inning for Will Warren. Just he really, really didn't have much. Really, really didn't have much, and Judge had that spectacular throw in the first inning. But I'm really, really interested to see how Will Warren's going to look his the next start here, when he his next start when he comes out, because to start off the 4-game series like that. I mean, I know the Yankees took the series three games to one, but it was just such a bad. It was really, really a bad way to start that series. Um, but the bullpen was able to help the Yankees get out of it. And even same thing. Carrasco was how the Yankees record right now. They're 14 and 8. Yeah, the Yankees are is it 14? I want to just make sure. Yeah, 14 and 8. So no Garrett Cole, Max Fried, the 5 starts. So 5 of those 14 wins from Fried starts. Rodon has been up and down so far. Stroman from when he was in the rotation, a little underwhelming. He had one of those starts. At least Warren didn't give up the 5. The amount of runs like that, but it was kind of reminiscent towards that. And Carrasco has had his good start here and there, but just how much, how long is it going to be sustainable for? Like my main concern here for the Yankees now is like, what if someone, if someone goes down, one of these guys. I mean, I don't like to think that way, but pitching, things happen. It's just the way that it's going right now. Um, it's like an injury away from disaster. But I hate to think that way. But you know, it is something you got to worry about. It is something you got to worry about. So like, who's that next guy up for the Yankees? Because it's just one of those. It really, from the starting pitcher standpoint, because like Carrasco was to me a little underwhelming today, um, kind of underwhelming today, and then Will Warren start. So those two guys. I mean, we're not going to have Luis Heel back for a while. Clark just came back, had a nice start, and he'll be pitching tomorrow versus Gavin Williams, in Cleveland, 6 o'clock start. But just one of those. It's like one of those. It really makes me think about the pitching staff. Just because it's April 20th right now, and as good as the Yankees all in all have been playing good. The bullpen's been picking it up, but how sustainable is that? We know it's not going to last for the whole season. There's a lot of up and downs through the season, but it makes me wonder. And you see little things like I hate to nitpick here and there, but the errors from Oswaldo were a little concerning. Um, just what was concerning to me about the Oswaldo errors was that he made that error on that was the last play he saw, and then the first play he saw today. It was like the last two plays, and then he made the other throwing errors. But he had this series Oswaldo was really hitting. He had a nice series. He had the homer, the big double, but so I guess he picked it up in other ways, and just he's one of those guys that he's usually not one of the players you got to worry about in the field. So hopefully these throwing errors don't become a thing. Really, hopefully the throwing errors don't become a thing. Dominguez had his little blip this series. Um, he up until that point, he's been okay making plays. They said it was an 85%, catchability type of thing, but he was playing, in George M. Steinbrenner Field, which is a minor league spring training. It was a sunny day. Again, I don't, it always sounds like I'm giving excuses. I don't want to try to, give the players excuses, but we did win this series, 3 games to 1. So I kind of look at it a little differently now that we're back, talking about it, and because the Yankees did wind up winning, but could have been, it could have been a sweep. Woulda, coulda. And one, talking about how good the bullpen has been, with Yoendris Gomez. I think it was like the first or second pitch to Aranda. It was the 2-run home because of the ghost runner. No one was let on, but from what we take of this series now is kind of what we always know, because it's getting don't want to ramble on it too much, because we did see the Yankees take this series, as we said, but don't want to really nitpick, because we had two really, really phenomenal starts from our top two left-handers, and it's just there's nothing else much to say. Max Fried was masterful today. I mean, it would have been lovely for him to get the no hitter. And speaking of the no hitter, I mean, Chandler Simpson, um, whether Goldie error or not, it wasn't an error. He would have beat that out, anyway. Really, he would have beat it out anyway. But just the way the whole thing, the way the whole thing was handled, and you could see that on Chris Kirshner's X, he actually put out earlier that they were X, and asking the official scorer, kind of asking him questions, and he answered one of them, and then kind of ignored them the rest of the way. But it was like 2.5 innings after that they changed it, and if I remember correctly, um, it was after Boone was ejected for, I don't know what that was. It was just crazy, just real crazy with the technology and reviews of how they can do that now. It was just horrendous, real horrible. Um, the missed call of Judge's home run, and then just wild. But the Yankees did wind up winning today 4-0. Fernando Cruz had the nice. He had his 3 walks, but if the Yankees can just hone in these walks, I mean, really, if they could just hone in the walks, then forget it. I would really would like to know, if it affected any of, really any of their games in that sense of, but obviously it affects them in the sense of the game. It's just it has to. We've seen Rodon lose games before, but really, it's the walks have to. You're never going to stop the walks. Just limit the walks and the untimely walks. But Yanks taking on the Cleveland Guardians from Cleveland. It's a 3-game set, the last of this 13 game road trip. The Yankees will be off on Thursday. Cleveland just swept Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. They won their first game 10-7. Shut out the Pirates yesterday 3-0, and they won in extras today 5-4. Few things that stood out to me here is there was 5 home runs in the game. Well, no, that was on. They had 5 home runs. That was on Thursday against Baltimore. That was the end of their end of that series. That was 5 home runs in that game. But no, for Cleveland, here we go. Friday, 10-7. It was Bo Naylor hit a home run in the second. Manzardo, there was 4 doubles. Manzardo, Bo Naylor, Big Christmas, Joe Enksy's Noel, and Gabriel Arias all had RBI doubles. Friday night, it was a very different, different type of Friday night. Very different Friday night in Pittsburgh. I was just looking. Paul Skeens was pitching Saturday. It was almost kind of like a pitcher's duel with Blake Lively. But Blake Lively only lasted like 5 1/3. But Skeens into the 7th, and Manzardo took him real deep into the Allegheny. So Manzardo, the young DH, one of those guys. Obviously you got to worry about J-Ram, and just like our bullpen, the bullpen for Cleveland was definitely showcased yesterday, Saturday. But just like us, as good as their bullpen's been, their all-star closer, all world-class closer, having having some problems here, with just like Devin Williams a little bit. So is this the series that could Class A turn it around? We'll find out, because we know the Yankees did some damage against him in the playoffs. And Quan and Manzardo homered today. Class A was shaky in the 9th. It was his second blown save, but Cleveland was able to win. Get the sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates, which real shame that Pittsburgh would not much better, not doing as better as they should be in that crowded NL Central. But speaking of crowded divisions, the Yankees in the AL East, as I call it, the AL Beast. Cincinnati Reds beat them today 24-2. And it was Gary Sanchez pitched. I want to say it was Gary Sanchez and Mateo pitched that game, and they both gave up 7 earned runs. But terrible. I really got to think of some way to kind of. I mean, I know with the mercy rule, it's not really a thing, but something. I mean, no one wants to watch a 24-2 ball game. It's just we've seen blowouts before. It's a real bad look. We're starting to dwindle here a little bit. Getting getting a little tired. It is Sunday, uh, Sunday Easter Sunday. It's been a busy weekend. The girls starting softball. Emma's starting softball now. That was fun. So we had that on Saturday. Of course, today is Easter, and as some of you guys know by now, Sundays. I work in the city. It's just Sundays is a long, long day, and today was a beautiful day. Um, Beautiful, Easter Sunday. I hope everyone had a beautiful Easter Sunday. But Yankees beating Tampa Bay makes it a little better. Would have liked to seen Judge. I'm gonna that for a little while. We're gonna hop on that one because I still can't believe it that that call stood. And I can understand why Booney was so mad. Hopefully, Oswaldo, really let's not make these errors from our sure-handed Oswaldo. Really, let's hope they're not becoming a thing here. And really, like real talk here. I mean, I hope the bullpen. Forget about Devin Williams. We're not worried about that no more because I told you he's not going to give up any more earned runs till the end of May, early June. So forget about what just happened. The four runs. Forget about it. Forget about it. Jonathan Ronda's a good hitter. He hit the home run. Lucky for him, he didn't really get hurt. With that collision with Ben Rortvedt, it was a scary moment for a little while. Not saying it was nice to see him hit a home run. It was nice to see him stay in the game because he was down. Looked like he was down for the count for a while. But let's just, really, I want to say, with the bullpen, let's just hope that this can be sustained for as long as possible because right now, guys like Tim Hill, Ian Hamilton, and Mark Leiter Jr., and even Fernando Cruz with a little bit of walks here and there, these guys are dealing, and it's real, real fun to watch. I mean, Fernando Cruz, that split finger is pure filth. So, Clark Schmidt versus Gavin Williams tomorrow. Just so you guys know, it's going to be the game starts at like a couple minutes after 6. It's going to be like a 6:05, 6:05 start. Yankees taking on Cleveland. Game 2, Will Warren versus Tanner Bybee. So really hoping to see Will Warren bounce back from that last one, and Carlos Rodon versus Luis Ortiz. So Clark Schmidt coming off a nice start. Will Warren coming off that disaster of a start, and Carlos Rodon coming off a real good start. We'd like to see how they finish off this road trip here now. Bellinger, one of the guys, Bellinger and Wells, I should say, they home it today. So two guys that we were kind of asking for here, the past few days to kind of bust out. Jazz's struggles. The more I look at it, the more I think about it. It's almost maybe thinking it's becoming to a point where kind of on another level. Maybe it's more of a head thing, but Jazz is a good player. He'll bust out of it. It's not going to last that much longer. But it was nice to see Wells and Bellinger today. Long, powerful homers, especially for Wellesley to the opposite field. Volpe hit that fastball today for a double. One thing you heard them say in the broadcast that 40 of the 55 pitches to that point were fastballs, and he's been really, really struggling with fastballs. And he banged that one, down the line. So hopefully these are things, it's not really affecting, their fielding. Nothing has been different. They've been consistent, I think, in that department, in a good way, especially up the middle. Jazz, you can see him more comfortable at second. Goldschmidt adding a lot of value there with the glove. Volpe being Volpe. And, as Waldo, besides, he's making plays, just the throws. Got to fix that up. I think Dominguez is definitely getting there. Some of it's ugly, but, he's getting the job done. Yeah, he had that little bit, this little blurb this series, but it's getting better. The more reps, the better he's going to be. And with Grisham, Bellinger, and Judge, put him any position in the outfield, top notch. I mean, Grisham makes it really, really look easy out there. Let's hope, 7-3 on this road trip. Let's hope we can really, finish this road trip off strong, take this series, and thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for following me up until this point. We're getting, trying to get into the podcasting here. I know, some episodes maybe sound better than others, but trying to find that flow, with the episodes here. So thank you, thank you. Happy Easter, and really, really want to say thank you and happy Easter to all you guys. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your nights with your families. I know it's 10 o'clock. You're obviously not listening to it. Maybe you are listening to it right when it drops. I'd hope you are, but more importantly, probably onto into your commute in the morning. If you think of anything throughout the day while you're watching the game, send me a DM. Let me know what you guys think. What's going on with the team? Who do you want to see step up? Do you want to see, different role, the role change? I really liked Trent Grisham in that leadoff spot. I want to see more of that. Really definitely want to see more of that. It would have been nice to see him get a little bit more than that home run today, but it was the perfect, perfect catalyst that they needed today to set the tone, and it definitely set the tone for Max Fried. And we'll close it at this, so I won't let myself go rambling again. I want to close it at this, and then we'll end it. Because I did forget it, and I'll be mad that I forgot it, because it was one of the best things I seen today, other than the kids with their Easter stuff. Seeing how Andy Pettit worked with Max Fried with the pickoff, and his pickoff has been unbelievable. I mean, who else better to learn from than Andy? Really, who else better to learn from than Andy? Have a good night, guys. God bless. We'll talk during and after the Cleveland series. Have a good one, guys. God bless. I'll talk to you.